Everybody thinks the biggest winner of the AI era is Nvidia, but lately, Wall Street has been obsessing over something else, AI memory. Over the past year, Micron ticker MU has surged more than 40%, and what the market is really betting on now isn't just PUS anymore, it's high-end AI memory. So today, let's talk about it. Could AI memory actually become the next major opportunity in the AI era? Hi everyone, this is Stock Market Breakdown. If you want to go beyond just watching price moves and actually understand the logic behind the market, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's dive right in. For a long time, a lot of investors didn't even touch MU because for years, Micron was viewed as a classic cyclical stock. When memory prices went up, profits exploded, but when supply increased and prices dropped, earnings got crushed. That's why Wall Street never really gave MU a premium valuation. But AI changed something important. The market suddenly realized that AI systems require a completely different level of memory demand compared to traditional computing, especially AI servers. A high-end AI server today can require multiple times more memory than a traditional server. And the larger these AI models get, the more dependent they become on high-speed memory. That's a huge reason why MU has started getting re-rated by the market over the past year. For a while, everyone thought Nvidia would be the only real winner of the AI boom. But now, more and more investors are realizing something. The real bottleneck in AI may not just be compute power, it could be memory, and MU happens to sit right in the middle of that trend. There's been a major shift happening in AI. In the past, the race was all about who had the most powerful GPU, but now, it's becoming about who can move data the fastest. Models like GPT are processing enormous amounts of parameters and data every single day. And if the GPU can't access data fast enough, even the most powerful chip starts hitting performance bottlenecks. That's why HBM has become so important. HBM stands for High Bandwidth Memory. Put simply, it's ultra-fast memory, specifically designed to feed AI plus massive amounts of data. Take Nvidia's new Blackwell platform. For example, its demand for HBM is massive. In fact, some analysts are now saying the real bottleneck in AI may eventually become HBM supply, not PUS themselves. So AI is no longer just about who has the best chip, now it's about who has the best data throughput. And HBM is quickly becoming one of the most critical pieces of infrastructure in the entire AI industry. What makes HBM so attractive isn't just demand growth, it's the business model behind it. Traditional DRAM has historically behaved almost like a commodity business, heavy competition, transparent pricing, highly volatile profits. But HBM is different. It requires far more advanced technology. We're talking chip stacking, advanced packaging, ultra-high-speed data transfer, and difficult yield management. And once the technology barrier gets higher, the number of real competitors shrinks fast. Right now, only a handful of companies can consistently produce high-end HBM at scale. That creates a very powerful setup, high demand, limited supply, and strong margins. Some industry estimates suggest that the HBM content inside a high-end AI server can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, which means the more AI servers get deployed, the more money HBM suppliers can potentially make. And that's really the core shift happening with MU. The market is starting to realize Micron isn't just selling commodity memory anymore. It's moving into one of the highest margin parts of the AI supply chain. So the biggest change with MU isn't just revenue growth, it's that the entire earnings model may be changing. In the past, MU behaved like a traditional cyclical stock, but with HBM, Wall Street is starting to view it more like a high-margin AI infrastructure company. And that's a big reason analysts keep raising their price targets on the stock. Right now, the HBM market feels a lot like the GPU shortage a few years ago. Demand is exploding, but supply simply can't keep up. AI infrastructure is extending at an insane pace. Meta, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, basically every major tech company is aggressively building out AI data centers, and every new AI server rack creates even more HBM demand. The problem is, HBM production can scale overnight. It's extremely difficult to manufacture, from wafer production to advanced packaging to customer qualification. Every step takes time, and when your customers are companies like Nvidia, the qualification process becomes even more demanding. That's why only a few companies, SK Hynix, Samsung, and Micron, are really capable of mass-producing advanced HBM today. The market is basically an oligopoly, and Micron recently said that most of its HBM capacity for the next several quarters is already sold out. That's a very important signal because it shows this isn't just future demand people are talking about. The orders are already here. So the market's biggest concern right now isn't weak demand, it's whether supply can keep up at all. And as long as this supply-demand imbalance stays tight, MIU could continue benefiting through pricing power, stronger margins, and higher earnings. The real question is, how long can this last? At the end of the day, the real force driving MIU higher isn't hype, it's AI spending. Big tech is spending enormous amounts of money right now. Meta alone is expected to spend up to $72 billion on AI infrastructure this year. Microsoft, Amazon, and Google are all massively expanding their AI data centers as well, and that money flows throughout the entire AI infrastructure supply chain. Most people immediately think about PUS, but networking, cooling, power systems, storage, and high-end memory are all benefiting too, especially HBM. Because AI demand isn't just about training models anymore, inference is becoming a huge driver too. That means real-world AI usage, AI search, AI agents, enterprise AI applications all require servers running constantly in the background. And those servers also need high-performance memory, which means HBM demand may not just be a short-term spike, it could become a long-term structural trend. So Wall Street isn't just betting on MIU's next earnings report anymore. What the market is really betting on is whether AI permanently changes the memory industry. As long as big tech keeps pouring money into AI infrastructure, MIU has a chance to keep benefiting, and that's why more institutional money is starting to treat MIU like a core AI infrastructure play. Historically, Wall Street avoided giving MIU a premium valuation for one simple reason. The memory industry has always been extremely cyclical. Demand rises, profits surge, companies expand production, supply increases, prices collapse, margins shrink, and the cycle repeats. That's why MIU was always labeled a cyclical stock. But HBM is forcing investors to rethink the entire industry structure, because HBM behaves very differently from traditional DRAM. It's more like a high-end customized product. It needs to be tightly integrated with GPU platforms. It requires customer qualification, and the technical barriers are much higher. That means it's far less vulnerable to commodity-style price wars. There's also another important shift happening. As manufacturers dedicate more high-end capacity toward HBM, traditional DRAM supply may actually become healthier overall, which means HBM could potentially improve industry profitability across the board. And that's what makes MIU so interesting right now. The market is starting to redefine what this company actually is. Yes, it still has cyclical exposure, but HBM is making investors believe the quality of MIU's earnings could become much stronger than before. And that's really the core reason Wall Street has started raising its valuation on the company. Of course, none of this means MIU is risk-free. The risks are still very real. The biggest historical problem in memory has always been oversupply. Whenever margins improve, companies rush to extend production, and if HBM supply ramps too aggressively in the future, pricing power could eventually weaken. Margins could come down too. There's also another major risk. Can AI spending actually stay this strong long-term? Right now, big tech is spending aggressively on AI, but eventually, investors will want to see real returns on that spending. And if AI monetization takes longer than expected, companies could start slowing down capital expenditures. If AI data center growth slows, the entire supply chain could feel the impact. And on top of that, AI valuations across the market are already very elevated, which means even small earnings disappointments could create huge volatility. So when you look at MIU, You can't just focus on upside potential. The real question is whether HBM demand can remain strong over time, because what ultimately determines MU's future isn't short-term price action, it's how long this AI memory cycle can actually last. Right now, when most people think about AI, they still immediately think about Nvidia, but when everyone is focused on PUS, the market usually starts searching for the next layer of opportunity. AI servers, cooling systems, power infrastructure, networking, and AI memory. And the reason HBM is getting so much attention is actually pretty simple. It checks all the boxes investors love: fast demand growth, limited competition, high technical barriers, strong margins, and most importantly, it's directly tied to AI GPU growth. As long as AI compute demand keeps growing, HBM demand likely grows with it. That's why MU is becoming so interesting to investors. Not because the stock already went up 40%, but because more money is starting to believe AI memory could become one of the most important parts of the AI supply chain over the next several years. So here's the bottom line. A lot of people think the AI era only has one winner, but historically, the biggest money is often made by the infrastructure companies that the entire industry depends on. And maybe a few years from now, we'll look back and realize AI memory was actually one of the biggest hidden opportunities of the AI era. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you, make sure to like and subscribe. Do you think MU still has more upside? Let me know down in the comments.